You know, it's really important with any project that you go to do that you start off with good materials. And we're going back with the exact same materials that Brunswick used on their antique tables. All of the subspecies of wood, all of the subwood that you really don't see is excellent poplar. Now we've got a big stack of poplar here that's going to consist of the under aprons and the actual, the portion of the rail that the rubber attaches to. Now for the tops, that's the part that you would actually see on the very top with the sights and the nameplate and everything. Well, on this table, Brunswick went with walnut, and that's exactly what we're going back with. We've got a whole bunch of board feet of poplar here, but unfortunately, when you go to buy these materials from the lumberyard, they don't come the exact thickness that you want. And in order to make sure that the thickness that you want, that's what you get, we have to plane it down ourselves. Now, it took a little while for me to track down a planer. Some of my other tools that I had were actually stolen from me. Actually, all of my shop tools got stolen. So it took me a little while to track down a decent planer. And as you can see, this is a beast. It's a 20-inch jet, or shop fox, 20-inch shop fox planer. And it should go through these boards like they're nothing. So let's get into planing these out and let's get them the right thickness. All right, so one of the first things that we're going to have to do when we go to rebuild these rails is get measurements on all the different parts of it. And that's going to include the top rails, the top caps right here. That's going to include the secondary piece, which is going to be this apron right here. But the difficult one is going to be this one, this front piece right here where the rubber attaches. We need this to be a specific thickness, and that's going to span this entire width right here. So I think the first parts that we're going to do, we're going to go for the hard ones first. And what we'll do is we will pull off this rubber, assuming I can. Somebody nailed it. So let's go around from the other side. There we go. And we'll grab our trusty pocket knife. In one of these pockets, we'll grab our trusty pocket knife, and we're just going to cut this rubber. This is old rubber. I would assume that this table has had the rubber replaced on it at some point in time. Okay, so this is actually the thickness that we want to gauge from the bottom of this to the top of this right here. So we'll get our caliper out. Make sure we're at 0. We are. Amy, you might want to zoom in on this. All right, and it looks as though we are at 1.6 thou, 1 inch and 1.6 inches. Pretty cool. All right, so we know how thick these boards need to be. Those are going to be our longer of the two boards. We'll put this back up. Well, not yet. Our longer boards, which are these back here, these are a full 8/4. So these are actually a full 2 inches thick. They might measure in a little bit more than that. Let's see. Yeah, they measure in at about 2 1/8. So we're going to have to get those down to 1.6 inches. And we're not going to need the caliper for a little bit. Don't need the knife anymore. Now we get to go over to the planer and start planing these down. That's all of them? Don't throw any of that walnut away. It's good stuff. That's how a rail cuts. Watch your back edge over here. The wider ones. That was the end that I just cut off. So that goes on there like that. Perfect. Starting to look like a rail? All right, so there you go. We got our rails roughed in. Okay, now they're far from over, and we're going to have several more videos in this series. It takes a little bit of time to do this stuff and do the other things that I have to do as well. Going out on location, moving tables, recovering them, that kind of stuff. Also making these videos, it takes a bit of time. So between all of the things that I have to do, it takes a little bit of time to get this stuff done. And I know this project has been a little bit more ongoing than usual because of Hurricane Ida, because of getting set back with Hurricane Ida. Well, this project has gone on longer than what I would like, but it's well underway now. We've got the rails roughed in. Now, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to mark all of the rails in an inconspicuous spot, something that can't be seen, like underneath the rails, inside where it faces the slate itself. We're going to mark every one of the rails where it says Billiards of New Orleans. Now what this is going to do is it's going to let future generations know, and anybody else that goes to work on the table or buy the table, it's going to let them know that these are reproduction rails. Now my customer knows to keep the original rails, that way the integrity of the table is kept intact. And you know, we're going to mark every one of them, and we're also going to put the serial number, the table's serial number. Even though that serial number doesn't mean much of anything, it lets anybody else for the future know that everything was done properly. We took the time to make sure that everything matches up. We built every last one of the rails in accordance to the originals. So anyway, we want to make sure that we do everything ethically. We don't want to alter the table in a way that it can't be put back. And, you know, quite frankly, swapping out rails is not going to hurt a thing. Those rails can be taken right back off. The originals can go right back on. Think of it like if you're gun people, if you're a gun person, okay, imagine taking the grips off of a firearm and keeping the originals, putting a set of custom grips on the side. And then later on down the road, if you wanted to, you know, sell the firearm, you know, you take those custom grips off and you put the originals back on. That's what we're doing here. All we're doing is making a custom set of rails for it. The originals can go right back on with no harm, no foul. Now, as with all of my other pool table videos, I'm going to leave Amazon links down below to all of the tools that I use, with the exception of some of the woodworking tools. I'm not going to bother with leaving links for those. But all of my pool table repair tools, I'm going to leave links down below so that if you're interested in any of those, you can go ahead and pick them up there on Amazon. It does help our channel. We do get a small, very, very small commission off of every one of those sales. And you know what? It doesn't cost you a thing extra. So there's that. One other thing. If you notice, from some of my previous videos, our background here looks different. Notice we got painted walls. We actually have cabinets up here instead of having just regular shelves. We're doing a few things to ramp up and beef up our YouTube presence. And that's going to entail making prettier videos. I do want my videos to come across as more professional and prettier. We've also got a few more things on the way in the form of new equipment, got some new lights, got a new camera coming, new lenses, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I am reinvesting back in you guys to give you guys the things that you guys want. So, and try to do it in such a way to make it pretty. Anyway, hit that like button, write me a comment down below, hit the subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. You'll want to do that, especially if you're interested in this series of the antique rails, because, you know, I'm going to have more videos on this coming up. So anyway, we'll catch you guys on the next video. You guys take care.